Hey folks, Alan Saunders, Brendan Howe here from Steelers Now at UPMC Rooney Sports Complex. The Pittsburgh Steelers just wrapped up the first practice for OTAs 2025. Brendan and I and Ed Thompson all here for coverage for SteelersNow.com. Our first Steelers practice report of full squad practice here in 2025. Brendan, first thing I think everyone's going to ask about, and we can only sort of talk about a little bit, is who's here. And, of course, the big news, Aaron Rodgers not that he was what we were expecting. TJ Watt, DK Metcalf, among a couple of the veterans not here, but I think largely very well attended. This is not really an area where a lot of the veterans get a lot out of this. Cam Hayward was asked about guys not there today, and he mentioned it. Hey, I didn't go to OTAs last year. It didn't hurt me any. I actually don't think the NFL product would change one bit if we got rid of OTAs. I think at some point we will. What was your takeaway from just being the first out here for the first time seeing OTAs live?
Yeah, so the first thing, walking out there and watching the warm-up lines, I mentioned to you that I don't see DK Metcalf. Thought maybe I was making a mistake. I wasn't sure if all the guys kind of come here. My first time covering OTAs. So him being gone was pretty noticeable, especially with that receiver group. You're waiting for Calvin Austin, Roman Wilson. Robert Woods is there, hoping that one of those guys steps up in that number 2 role. I talked to Robert Woods, and he said that was part of the reason he came here, because even before George Pickens was traded away, he thought that it was kind of wide open to get some playing time here. So that's kind of what stood out to me there. And then the quarterbacks, getting to see Mason Rudolph throw again here. Will Howard was a little different today than he'd been in the rookie minicamp in the way that he was passing. But, yeah, that's what stood out to me first, was going out, not seeing DK Metcalf, and then seeing those receivers run through the drills. And Roman Wilson looked pretty crisp and healthy, which is a welcome sign for fans.
Yeah, a pretty bleak perspective there with no Metcalf, looking at Rudolph and Howard throwing to Austin, Wilson, Robert Woods, some other guys, Brandon Johnson involved, and things of that nature. Not exactly an awe-inspiring group from quarterback to receiver. Offensive line, on the other hand, I think an area people have a lot of hope for. I checked them out early. Troy Fautanu on the right, Broderick Jones on the left, as we've been kind of told to expect. And, no pads, no real blocking even. I mean, you can kind of take a look at some footwork and things like that on pass pro reps, but it's hard to evaluate offensive linemen in this situation at the best of times. But just, for Troy's perspective, this is the first time he's been on the field since that knee injury. So for me, just him getting out there, moving, looking good, looking normal, said he has a full green light. There's still some things he has to do in terms of maintenance and keeping things up from the injury, but he's basically 100% at this point. So that's, a really good sign in terms of his progress back from the injury. Will this experiment work out with these 2 young tackles is probably one of the most important unanswered questions we have at the 2025 season at this point.
Yeah, and there was a 14 here. Montana Lamonius Craig, I think his name was. You've seen a 14 on the field, not him.
He's a little bit shorter than the last 14. I actually talked to him very briefly. I asked him if he felt any way about getting 14. He said, look, I'm just happy to have a jersey. I didn't care which one. He was here for a tryout at rookie camp, and funny that it just happened to be I wonder how often that is random, or if that's hey, let's give it to this guy who was a rookie camp tryout.
I'm sure we won't see it much on social media like Antonio Brown with Cordell Patterson last year.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll see it in the same way there. I think Pickens has moved on.
Yeah. On the defensive side of the ball, again, like I said, no TJ Watt. Nick Herbig up in that spot. Not really any drama there. Got to see a lot of Derek Harmon. I thought he looked really good. Y.A. Black as well in that mix. Man, is it a deep group of defensive. I feel like every time I looked over at Cam Hayward, he was next to a different defensive lineman, whether it was Black or Harmon or Keanu Benton or Isaiah Loudermilk. Got to see DeMarvin Leal, who back healthy after that neck injury last year. Also got some dreads going. So I was like, wait, who's that big guy with the DeMarvin Leal. Okay. And then over at the secondary field, Sebastian Castro with the safeties, not the slots. I thought that was interesting. And then Beanie Bishop, starting with the slots, said he's the starting nickel corner. Doesn't feel like it is his job for sure, but it's his job for right now. Interesting, not quite sure I expected that to be the way that played out, the way this offseason went.
Yeah, and some of the least surprising news of the day, Cam Hayward said that he thinks that Derek Harmon will have a chance to play this season, which, as a first-round pick, you kind of assume that. So, that's say, and he thinks he's a very promising prospect there. So,
anything stand out to you in an extreme positive way, negative way, different than expectations, just being your first time here?
Well, Roman Wilson, like I said earlier, he was getting open. There was a 7-on-7 period where he was getting open on deeper routes, post routes, fade routes, on the corners facing him, which is something that I think from the stats I looked at, he only had one drop in college, one singular drop, and they were hoping to get that kind of help last season. This season is another season where they're really going to need something like that. So I definitely say that Roman Wilson, and we talked to him today, he's definitely someone to watch going forward and watch the next 5 OTA practices as well.
Yeah, I think for me, just checking those boxes of who's here, who's not is the important thing on the first day. And then I'm interested to try to get to know some of these newer guys. I was a little disappointed we didn't get to talk to Metcalf today, but I was trying to find some of those newer guys and did get to talk to Montana Lamonius Craig, but I'll have to keep working on that for the rest of the week. But it's pretty much, man. I think the thing that stands out to me is like, your eye level has to change when you go from rookie camp to OTAs. Like, you really, like, I mentioned this during rookie camp where it's like a guy that I know is not very good is here looking good. And then you bring those same guys that's like, I thought Will Howard looked okay at rookie camp. I did not think Will Howard looked okay today, right? It's a little bit different when you put him up against actual NFL competition as opposed to other rookies at rookie camp, And so, look, I've said this before. I thought Joey Porter Jr. really struggled his first OTAs and eventually had a very strong rookie season. So it doesn't mean that much. They get a lot better as the process goes on, I would imagine, especially at a position like quarterback. So let's take it all with a grain of salt. This is a period of time where we're going to talk a lot about things that probably don't matter that much in the long run. But yeah, I didn't think he had a great first day. To me, I spent a whole practice period watching the second team 7-on-7, and I came away not particularly impressed with all of it, not just him. But yeah, that's it for today. We got more coming up this week, 2 more OTA practices, 3 more next week, then mini camp. So stay tuned here on the YouTube channel for more. From Brendan, I'm Alan Saunders. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, enjoy.